I don't see nothing.
Oh, remember.
Oh, this is what I'm seeing. What you see? Okay, I'm seeing what you see, yes. And then right here we see. Hey y'all, this is Coach Jones from Off the Clock. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, what's going on, man? This is Coach Jones from around the Off the Clock, man, and we're coming here to you live today. We got our guest, Reginald Thomas here, man, from ECW Warriors. Basically, what we're going to be doing today is we're just going to be discussing some things live and direct, man. So one thing we want to say is if your children are watching, don't let them watch this right here. And number two, everything that's said on Off the Clock, we hope to benefit the coaches around the state to bring awareness, man, to the problems and things that are troubling youth football, man. So that is our goal with Off the Clock, man. So basically, today we got Coach Reginald here, and we're going to have him introduce himself and give us a little background on where he's coming from and who he represents today. So I'd like to introduce Coach Reginald, man.
They call me Coach Thomas, Coach Reggie, whatever you want to call me. I come from New Orleans, man. I've been coaching since I was, 17? I started at, 17? been coaching for that long, man. I love it. I love being around the kids. I love it. I love seeing it. Basically, just the smiles. That's just me in a nutshell, right there. I coach for a lot of teams, and shit, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. So, what made you coach, and what decided when you started coaching? What was that moment that you knew that coaching was for you? And when you were coaching and you became that role model and took on that leadership role, how did that change you? And what changes did it make for you in your life when you became a coach?
That's easy, man. I started, like I said, I started back when I was 17. I started helping my this old dude, this old cat named Ed. Used to always walk around the project selling hot pies and shit, little bitty pies and shit. So I used to always run around the project. He knew my mom and them shit growing up. I was like, inside kid just to get me out the house. Go out there and help him coach. So it was one kid that honestly I took a liking into. I don't think I remember his name, man. If I don't remember his name, but kid that had a little autism, but you couldn't tell he had autism. So that from that moment on, it was just learning the kid had autism and learning and seeing him play. Like, man, come on, no way.
Right.
So doing it from there and continuously on doing it was just like the love of the game and just the kids, man. Just being around the kids, learning the kids, and you meet different kids from different walks of life.
Right.
You get different kids. You're a coach, man. You learn different stories from every kid.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So just coaching, it brought me out. It brought me out a lot of things that I was doing that I, in the streets and shouldn't have been doing. And coming from doing that to coaching, it gives you a different look. Like kids see you in the store, you got to watch what you're doing because kids see you in the store like, coach, hey, coaching. You might be smoking a blunt or something. You got to watch what you do.
You ain't like this no more. You more like
you're watching your surroundings because each kid is watching you at every moment. So it's just the love of the game and just the love of the kids, man. I think that's why I coach. It's just being around the kids and learning different kids, learning what they're going through. Because every kid got a problem. Some kids don't like to talk to certain people.
Right.
And you learn that.
Yeah.
Some kids don't like to talk to certain people. They'll talk to you before they talk to their parents sometimes.
Right. So what you're saying is basically you have to learn every kid's ways and what they do and what makes them to bring out the best in them. You can't just go in there and think every kid the same or every kid learn the same or this kid might not know his left from right like the rest of the kids. So you gotta basically learn. You gotta basically teach them and coach them up and teach them the things that they need to know.
Right.
Yeah. So we got today. In Washington State football, man, how do you see the coaches as far as unity? As far as unity goes and the coaches staying together and sticking together, where do you see that at? And when did you see it start turning? If you say the unity has divided, when did you see that start turning? When did you see it start going left?
I say it started going left when it came more about, I think you should say sometimes it seems like it's more about the money. And I'm speaking off a parent, like as a parent. Now I'm gonna speak as a parent. It's certain people got a blueprint. You got to be willing to follow the blueprint. Each one teach one.
Right.
Each one teach one. And just to jump on that and tell you, just basically, it started turning. Honestly, my guy Reggie, man, he busted open. And let's be real, when the blueprint, my dude has put the blueprint out, though. You got to tip your hat to him, and most of us don't like how he killed it, but dude bust open, and when he bust out what he was doing, it honestly sent the riffle.
Yeah,
it sent the riffle.
It seemed like when he started,
but that wasn't the point of what he was trying to accomplish of sending a riffle. Right. If you honestly look at what he's doing, he's trying to bring light to Washington State football. Like, he's trying to let it be known, like, yo, if you think about it, Mo, like, come on, how many coaches were thinking about going out of town before he started making the moves like that?
He didn't.
He busted open.
If you look, when back in the day, the Ravens tried it a few times. They went out there and they went out of town a couple times, and it still didn't take a turn then.
But you also hold on. You also got to remember, I ain't from here. I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on the fact of what I see since I've been here.
Right. And
you know, you feel what I'm saying? And that's nothing to take it. That's not a way to take it from nobody.
Right.
But all the coaches sit back and think about it.
Yeah.
We all are fussing about the same thing.
Everything.
We all are doing it for the same reason: the love of the game and being around the kids.
Right.
If me and you could sit here and talk about this, and me and you might have had a problem way back when.
Right.
If we could sit here and still talk about something that's basically concerning the kids of the community, and come together, why can't all the other coaches be able to sit down as men and put all the beef, all of this disagreement, don't say beef, say the disagreement to the side?
One word, coach. Egos.
Man, fuck the egos.
But that's what the fuck it is.
Listen,
if you look at it,
hold on.
It's a nut swing contest. And some cats live through they like to live their highlights through their kids or their old football fantasy days when I used to be the best cat.
Listen, Mo, it's past that. Look, I'm gonna say this. It's past that. If you can honestly say, I'm gonna ask you a question now. If you can honestly say each coach, you ask them the same question you asked me on why you're coaching, 9 times out of 10, Mo, you're gonna get the same answer in so many different ways. But if you could be honest and honestly say, like, yo, I'm coaching because I love the game. I love to be around the kids. As a coach, you think about, you go to sleep on what you about to do the next day at practice.
If you go to sleep.
If you go to
game
sleep.
Game day,
you could be coaching a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old.
No matter who you coach,
each coach, any coach can get them bubbles. Man, got that game tomorrow. Hope my little dudes do what they got to do. I hope little dudes. You heard my little dudes. Yeah. We all say the same thing. So we all preaching the same thing. My dudes, my little guys. Man, we should be able to sit down. And I'm not from here. Yeah. Please believe I'm not from here. And I know I'm not from here, but I'm doing my part. As a black man, I'm doing my part for the community.
Right. And you got to, because it's for me, it's not where you're from, it's where you at. You know what I'm saying? That is my point. It's not from you where you're from, it's where you're at and what you're going to do and where you're at.
Exactly.
And the coaching, for me, like you said, you got to tip your hat off to do. You got to tip your hat off to do. And people know, you know, my past relationships and how I feel about him, and I'm gonna speak the truth. He put crunch time on y'all, man. He may start making people try to change their game and adapt. And my thing sometimes I say is every organization has the same capability to do all the same things with just their organization, like Benson right now. And I ain't gonna knock Benson always, to me, and you know, they always been a solid program. So now, right now that they're ranking, they're now in the national rankings, which I think the rankings pretty much mess things up for the game as well. Because now everybody's talking about we rank this, we rank that, and we rank this, and we ain't even went nowhere past the Metro to play a game, and we talking about rankings.
True. But if you think about the rankings, why I think it's a good idea and why I think it's a good reason. Because it honestly, if it's for the kids, it gives the kids morale. It gives the kids a booster. Yeah. It gives the kids that's in 5, that's in 6, that's in 7. I'm about to push. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to make a push to beat. I gotta beat 7 to get up.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So honestly, if it's for the kids, it gives the kids a push.
Right.
It shouldn't give the coach a push because we coaching to make these little dudes better. Right. So you show them little dudes. Look what number you at. Y'all at number 4. Look who's at number 3.
Right.
Look who's at number 2. Right. If we knock number 3 off, we bump up. You feel what I'm saying?
That also could be that poison too, because
it all depends on how you teach.
But if you sit there and say, okay, we number XYZ, right, and you ain't played number 4, you ain't played this cat, you looking at that list and you steady going up. But there's a lot of cats on that list that you ain't played. And then there's a lot of cats even in your state that you ain't played.
Okay.
A lot of cats that's even in your state that you ain't played. So now you're looking at this list and you're like, okay, now we gonna go travel. We done played these cats here 4 or 5 times. Now we done bumped up, you know, now we here, we there, whatever. And then you go out and then you play somebody who's way number 1, number 2, who's really been playing other teams that are seasoned. Like, you gotta admit, even with them rankings, everybody who's ranked from up here in the state of Washington, you got to look at who we play. We ain't really got no competition. We got competition enough, But do we have enough competition for us to go travel and be like, okay, we up here playing, we too divided.
We do.
So
I'm glad you said that. I just had this conversation with somebody today. Honestly, we all can sit here and just listen. We got so many teams up here. If you think about it, don't trip about somebody making a new team.
right.
You have so many teams up here to where you can have two different, like northeast, southeast, and you can have that's divisions. And that's when you can create a state championship because there's enough teams out here. Honestly, Mo, there's enough teams out here to have two divisions.
If you look at,
or honestly, AFC, NFC, there's enough teams to have to set up those type of divisions and be able to everybody can play everybody.
Right.
But the problem is, like you said, egos. Like you said, nobody ain't want to sit down and say, okay, this is what we need to do to make that happen. Or this is what we got to do to make that happen.
So you as being president of your own, you the owner and president of your own
co-founder
of your own team, how do you feel as the numbers, if you look around the league, where are our numbers? Our numbers is dwindling in a lot of age groups. A lot of kids, sometimes a lot of people they're forfeiting because they ain't got enough kids to really even play, if you look at it. So what do you think about mergers with teams, like you being a co-founder of the team and you see this organization over here, and let's say this organization don't have as many kids as you and they're faltering. Do you think that you, as the owner of that team or the co-founder of that team, should go to that organization and say, okay, hey man, look here, you got these many on this level, these many on this level, and these many on this level, why don't we merge? And if so, how come the mergers are not happening?
I can answer that. When I first started this, I had a couple people ask me to do a merge. And why I said I didn't want to, I sat back and I thought about why I didn't want to do it is because I felt like I trust myself and I trust in the process enough to understand, like, I'm going to take this risk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to merge. I'm going to start off with 2-3 kids. I started off doing flag football. I had 3 teams, flag football, Emerald City Elite. I had 3 teams. Went from that and decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do with this tackle and see what I can come up with this tackle. Mm-hmm. So I said, if I get enough for one team, we run it. We ain't gonna stress about it. If I get enough for one team, we ain't gonna stress about it. That's what we gonna do. So when they asked and say, man, won't you merge, man? You got that many on that team. Won't you just merge with us? And I kept saying no because I felt like I trust the process and I trusted myself enough to understand, it's gonna happen. Don't get me wrong, Mo. Building a team is hard though. I had times where I wanted to give up, and I ain't asked nobody for nothing.
Right.
You think what I'm saying? Right. I ain't asked nobody for nothing. I ain't go to nobody and say, can I have this?
Right.
I told my parents, check this, y'all ain't gonna have to pay nothing. I'm gonna make it a way where y'all don't have to pay nothing. So between me and my coaches and the people that I have on the board and within that's helping me, we made it a way that nobody on my team ain't have to pay for nothing. Everything you see what my kids get, from the duffel bags, gloves, everything, they ain't paid not 1 cent.
That's real shit.
And it was just me doing that. I wanted to do that just to show that sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it is. It can be just about the kids.
It's about them kids.
Mo, and that was paid out my pocket.
Yeah. But see,
not just to say that to try to tip my hat or nothing.
No.
It was just
we got
the
all
kids,
got,
bro.
We all got moments
it
like
was
that.
Just to see the smiles on their face when their uniforms came in. Payment enough.
Yeah, that smile.
That was payment enough for me, man.
Right.
And I'll do that. I'll do it again, over and over again if I can. But just saying that's why I feel like why I really coach, just to see those moments, the smiles, them smiles on their face when they learn something, when you just as a coach, because they look up to us.
Right.
You could give them a bubble gum, man. They gonna cherish that bubble gum, bro.
Right.
Coach gave me this.
Coach gave me that.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So honestly, that's why I coach, bro. Just jumping on that and staying on topic. That's why I coach, bro.
So okay, well now we talking. Since you touched on the organizations a little bit, and you've coached, you've been in several organizations, you coached at several organizations, you know what I'm saying? So do you feel, what made you decide to go to the ECW Warriors? And what made you decide to actually start the ECW Warriors? It made you say, you know what? it's time for me to go ahead. It's time for me to do what I got to do. It's time for me to say, you know what? I'm tired of. What was your last straw that said, you know what? Fuck it. This is what. Fuck that. Hey man, I'm tired of. Look, man, fuck it. I ain't. Fuck all that. This is what I'm doing right here.
My last straw just basically was just when I coached for the Huskies. You know, that was my last straw. You know, no
disrespect.
No disrespect. I love no intended at all.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked me that question because a lot of about the curse because I just got mad. Mo, you know my attitude.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of people honestly thought I started this because of a situation, but I'm gonna touch on that. Me and Dude don't have no problems.
Right.
I have the utmost respect for him.
Right.
He created a blueprint. Right. Reggie created a blueprint. If you smart and you want to create something, you will follow the blueprint. You will
work without no motherfucking blueprint.
You will look at what everybody else did on what they did and the mistakes and if they had made mistakes or how they did everything. So it was just I just ain't like a certain thing, a certain way. Yeah. And I felt like I needed to move on. It was something that I've been wanting to do. Yeah. It was something I've been wanting to do. Been wanting to team. Like a lot of people. That just strong. That just it was just to broke the back of. I shouldn't have to take this on, something that I love doing for the kids.
Okay, so right now we're gonna try to break into a real quick commercial. We'll be back after these messages, man, with Coach Reginald Thomas, man, and appreciate y'all for tuning in. Off the clock. Be right back. All right, so we back, man, with Off the Clock with Coach Reginald Thomas, co-founder of the ECW Warriors, man. In your coaching career, quick question, in your coaching career, what game was one of the hardest games for you to coach? And how did you face that adversity? Which game did you say, shit, this nigga's really making me coach, and this nigga's really getting it in. No, and not even look, we ain't even gotta, but
that's easy. That's easy. Sean Thomas.
There you go.
The Thomas Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I say, dog, this guy here, bro. If you remember the games, I'm talking about neck and neck, close. First time we played, it was not even a match.
Yeah,
we was in the game, but it wasn't a match. It went from that game to another game, then another game, then another game. This is speaking on it. It just dude made me really think.
Like really like, go to the playbook.
Like, bro, that's big bro.
Yeah,
that's big bro.
Much respect to ST. Shout out Coach ST.
That's big bro.
Yeah,
and that's always gonna be bro. He honestly made me think on what is gonna be your next play, right? Because he's set up easily. You run this, he's already setting up for that next play because he's an offensive minded coach, but he coached defense though.
Right.
Mo, because
right. I mean, ST done whoop my ass plenty times.
But dude hands down, he make you really get in your playbook and really think about how to beat him. Last time we played, I was close. It was a nail biter. It was close. He pulled it out, I think about 2 points, something like that. So that just goes to showing you how it was how close it came many a times. You remember how close it came many a times.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna interject here. I am the. Oh, let me see if I can get my stuff situated. And ladies and gentlemen, I am behind the scenes. I'm the producer that's behind here quietly. So in this segment right here, presented by Cheddar Boy Popcorn, you know Mr. Jones. This is his establishment right here. We're gonna go through the comments and see that what questions that you have of the two coaches that we have here right now, including our special guest. So first of all, let me go ahead and get myself straight here. Are you able to see the questions on the tablet, Mr. Jones?
I don't see no question.
You gotta scroll up. You gotta. Can you see it on the on my tablet?
Yeah, I see something.
All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through our questions because I'm not gonna leave y'all out. So. First comment we had was from Showtime Smith. He said, "Man, Saints and Vikings go Hawks."
Hey, you already know what happened today.
Who that?
You
baby?
know what happened
Who
today.
that? Come on now,
You
man.
know what happened today, man.
Come on.
I don't care about nothing else that happened.
Yeah.
But you know what happened today.
Yeah,
This
boy.
happened today.
Come on.
By the way, congratulations to both of y'all team. You know, your Vikings did beat the Hawks, and your Saints surprisingly beat the Patriots. I had Patriots win.
Right.
My boys, we play on Monday. So let's go ahead and continue on. We got McGee. He says, so how are parents held accountable if they don't have any skin in the game? What's a good question?
Man, ooh.
That's good.
Good question, Keandre. So I'll touch on that. You have to have tough skin because honestly, emotions get high in a tough game, or coach is going to say something. You got to have tough skin.
I'll take off the hat for this to answer.
You really honestly got to have tough skin, and coaches got to have tough skin because you got to worry about things that being said to you as a coach.
At the end, okay, and elaborate on. At the end of the day, this is a full contact sport. Football is a full contact sport to where you can induce bodily harm on the next man as your will. Okay, I can't wipe his nose for him. I can't make him a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't drop your kid off to me and expect and say, okay, because he needs to get tough, so he needs to play football. He needs to get tough, so I need to put him on the field. If he don't want to play, he ain't gonna play. But this is where the game gets construed. We as coaches need to be able to have those tough moments with these men, because even though they're young men, if I say, hey man, look here, fix that shit you fucking up, me and him we have a rapport to where he understand as a coach, I don't mean it in no ill neglect.
And we all know my mouth.
And we know how this.
Everybody.
So we don't mean it.
I don't mean it that way.
We don't mean it in no
it's
ill
all
neglect.
out of love.
It's all out of love.
Listen, I coach my kids on my team, and I treat them the way that I treat my son. I'm going to treat you the way I treat my son because right this present moment, you are my child. I have to watch you. Anything happen while you in my presence, I'm at fault. Because you are my attention. I got my eyes on you right now.
And then if you ain't got thick skin, how can I do my job?
Right.
How are you gonna complain? I've heard parents complain about he's running too much. How something that make you better hurt is harmful for him. If he's running, he conditioning. That's making his endurance better. It's making his stamina better. It's making his body better. But you coming to me complaining about he running too much? At what point do you think that parents play a factor in today's game and how it allows us to be able to coach?
I think parents play a big part, honestly, if you think about it. If the parents honestly just sit back and just watch, the kids love the fact that you're there. The kids don't love the fact that you're trying to tell their coach what to do.
Right.
As a coach, I didn't have many kids come to me and man, you know what I'm saying? Like, get kind of irritated on that.
Right.
Let the coaches coach. Let the kids play.
Just hearing that, this is me on the outside looking in. I'm in the military, so I take from a military standpoint as me as an NCO, as a leader, we take responsibility. What happened with our subordinates? What happened with our soldiers? So if anything happens to that soldier, let's say their wives or their husbands, girlfriends, or boyfriends gonna call us like, "Hey, what's going on?" That's
It's the same
we
way.
have to explain. So I just wanted to close on that one. So as we continue on with the comments, McGee commented again. He was like, "The only way to do something the way you want is to branch off." So he left that comment. Then back to Showtime Smith. He said, SWAC, if I spell it, SWAC versus Beacon Hill. And then he wrote Thomas Bowl. And then Showtime, he wrote again. He said, "How do you feel about
this guy here, dog? This guy, I can't.
Paulie. That's Paulie. That's Paulie, bro.
We're going to go back to that. So here's some other comments. Once again, from Showtime Smith. He has a question this time. He says, "How do you feel about franchises cheating?"
I'm gonna speak. Okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Mo.
See?
Don't do it.
I thought if we fucking raw in the cut.
Hey.
Oh, okay, fuck that. Look.
Look, while he's doing this drink, I gotta remind him, this is his show. You know,
Look.
I'm just producing it. This is your show.
Look here, man.
We all know it's.
I always said, and I hope that people respect me for one thing, man, and that's for always keeping it a buck. And I try to always keep it a buck whenever I converse with somebody or whenever I put a post up. So I always try to keep it a buck. Now, cheating, it depends. It's a fine line when these okay. See,
I told you. You might well hit that drink again.
It'll be one more time, and you got to go ahead and get into it.
Look, I'll say this: there's no cheating.
No, there's no cheating.
There's no cheating.
It's a perfectly fine.
I would say this: there's no cheating. It's coach your kids, man. Coach your kids up.
Coach
your kids up, and coach your kids to win.
We ain't got to fucking worry about nobody cheating because there's no refs to play no fucking games anyway.
Yeah, true.
So what we got to worry about?
So let me interject as a parent. So not even a parent, but as just a fan. So I'm gonna go back to your cheating part. Because in the NFL, we got a problem with officiating. You remember when they used to have the replacement refs? I don't think y'all had that issue with that problem.
Shit, we ain't got no refs. That's the fucking problem.
But the only difference is
we got cats out here finding the dirty, the white T-shirt they can find to white, putting it on, talking about, okay, I got to come on, give me. We all got a whistle.
But you honestly got to commend them, the ones that's even stepping up to do it, so the kids can have.
Yeah,
have a season. I tip my hat to those guys that's doing that. But if you think about it, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But if you think about it, if we sit back, if parents, and we can't just keep putting it on the parents, it can't keep putting it on the parents because it also falls on the organization, that coach. Because one of the Todd Storer told me yesterday at a game, he was just like control. He was like. Control your sideline etiquette, and he told me he was like, man, your sideline is like commendable, like nobody's really not. It's like let your parents know ahead of time. We have a code of conduct. Stick to the code of conduct. If they don't stick to the code of conduct, make the next move that you have to make this so that don't happen.
I'm gonna say
but sometimes
not to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off, but. Like you said, the code of conduct, and I'm gonna speak on my experience with that because I was a cat that got suspended for games for code of conduct.
Me too.
And with them Presley boys, and shout out to Deshaun Presley, shout out to Clarence Presley, and I'm gonna speak the truth. That's when the Northwest Premier was at its greatest. When them boys was in charge of that Northwest Premier, them boys really, from the All-Star games to everything, them boys really tried to put it on. The men tried to put it on and really build something for us. But that code of conduct needs to be strictly be enforced, like you said. So as a coach, even as a parent, sometimes we're going to have to start holding that code of conduct and holding these parents accountable and saying, okay, look here, because the only way now us as coaches, we don't want to turn, and even organizations, right? We don't want to say we don't want to punish that kid. We don't want to punish that kid and say, you can't come to practice or you got to turn in your pads. But if you got the parents out there doing just doing all type of shit, at what point do you say, okay, hey, the conduct requires for this kid to be removed because without the parent, it's never the kids that are the ones out there fighting.
You shouldn't remove the kid.
How do you remove the problem if you don't remove the kid?
I say you basically. This is an idea. I'm just taking a shot at that because this is my first. It's my first time running an organization. I say you keep the kid. You sit the parent down. You talk to the parent.
Yeah. You all right, bro? Okay.
Yeah. You talk to the parent.
Yeah.
You basically you had a conversation with the parent on as, look, this is running into a problem for your kid. If this continuously happen, we're gonna have to actually, and then that basically goes on the line of that gets your kid off the team. If that don't work, I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I don't have that problem. This is my first time doing it.
That's what I've seen. I've seen it before, and you've seen it before. We just have those parents, bro. Sometimes we have those parents that there's always a problem. There's always something, and then. So we have to enforce that. I say the organizations are not holding their parent code of conduct or their code of conduct accordingly, because half the time, guess what? It's all the homies. It's all the I grew up with you. It's I know you from back then. I know you. So I'm not gonna really. Okay, I know you over here and then fucked up 5-6 times, but I can't because I grew up with you and you the homie, and I know your kid from little and all that. At what point that gotta get thrown out the window for the safety of the kids? There's too much bullshit happening right now. There's too much shit happening.
Right, and so I'm just going to play like devil's advocate for the parents and for that child that's playing the game. But going back to the referee situation, I got a big bias for the referees. I had a major who he's a bias to referees, but guess what? He's part of a league and organization for referees because he ref baseball games, football games. So when you go into another territory, into another, let's say, do y'all have like inter division rivalries going on?
Yeah, you do have games that
do you run into issues where their referees are biased? I'm basing it off of because I like Friday Night Titans, and I know they got a different set of rules, so I'm basing it upon that.
I'll say this.
I got something for that too.
Because I think
everybody knows a judgment call.
Right.
As much as you want to jump down their throat, man, let's be real. And I'm one of everybody knowing me for knowing just being irate. That's out the way, loud,
I'm a motherfucker
in the rest phase. But if you really think about it, it's a fucking judgment call. Once they make the call, they can't take the call back.
The call's done.
The call is done.
Yeah,
the call is done. And I have two friends. I have two homeboys that took refereeing classes, and they it's stuff that and they used to coach with me. I have one that still coach with me, and that's his main thing. He always saying, bro, chill, like
you know what?
It's done, bro. It's done. You ain't getting
Noah,
no call back.
Hey man, Noah, if you watch Noah, will tell you too, man, because I've had a real problem. One time, man, there was a game I had about 105 yards and penalties and flags. And I'm like, shit, but I'm sitting here, hey, motherfucker, no, nigga, that's not offsides. What the fuck hey, I'm irate. I'm going off. And I'm like, fuck, another flag. Here come more flags. Now,
see, that's my thing.
Hold on, let me get you. Now, sometimes these calls ain't even fucking calls, but guess what? When you start pissing off these refs that got control of this right here, a call can become a call that ain't a call real fucking quick. So I had to check myself once, and I said, you know what? This is when I was young coaching, and I came back a few years later. I said, you know what? What am I doing wrong? I'm hurting my own fucking kids, right? It's me hurting the kids. I'm hurting my fucking kids.
My parents used to tell me that.
So this is what I decided to do. I said, I came to the refs once. I said, man, I seen them at the jamboree, and I sat down and I said, man, this is going to be a different year. And I came up to, there was Noah and two little Tiny, that's my guy, and there was another one. And I said, hey, man, look, I had some water with me. It was a hot-ass day. So I'm like, okay, this water going to get these niggas to listen because it's hot as hell out here. So I brought some water to them. I said, here, man. I said, man, if we ever had any issues as men, if I've ever came and disrespected you, man, I'm chill, my fault. Let my kids have a chance. Because I
That
know.
sound like a payoff.
Hey,
that sound like
see,
a payoff.
Hold on,
Sound like a payoff.
I ain't got to pay off. I line up. It's what it is. But the point being is, sometimes you gotta check yourself and you gotta humble yourself.
Real shit.
And you gotta say, you know what, I'm fucking up. Me as a man, I'm fucking up. So let me fix this for these kids. Let me do this for these kids. Because at the end of the day, we are all in this for the kids. Right. We are all in this for embedment of youth football. And the way that the shit has gone now, it's just going down the fucking toilet and it's getting shit on. Because, you know, Reggie, I remember you from years ago, bro. Since I've been coaching, I remember you a year, 2 years after I started coaching, you came in the game. So you've been here for a while.
Yeah.
So you one of them what I consider mustache piece coaches. You know what I'm saying? Well, back in the day, the round table coaches. Right. You know, UST. You know, there's a few more names out there. You know, I'm not going to keep on throwing names, but the game has gotten so watered down to the point where it's not about the kids no more. It's not about nothing. It's about even the parents is driven off their ego because their kid is good. The coach is driven off his ego because he think he's a good coach. Everybody's driven off this drive to prove that, hey man, I'm better than you. I can whoop yo. I can do this. I can do this. When it's fucking the kids.
If you can hold what you got, we're gonna get back to that. So let's go and continue going through these comments from said by Cheddar Boy Popcorn once again. So an unnamed Facebook user says, not just thick skin, but mutual respect. I'm gonna tell you, Showtime Smith, you are becoming the Ace Boom Coon right now in the comments right now, because he also put, I'm talking teams playing with older kids.
Ooh,
I think that's what he was alluding to with the.
Okay, now so, I'm gonna speak on that.
So I'm just gonna continue on the comments so we can.
Okay, good.
Got two more.
Teams.
Once again, we got Facebook user. Facebook user. I need to know who you are. So he put, talk to the parents first. Maybe probation period for the children, which you was talking about.
Right.
Before deciding to take the kid off the team. You already addressed that.
Hold on. Let me clarify. To clarify, I wasn't saying like, okay, yeah, he fucked up one time, take him off the team. Yeah, of course, procedures and protocol for that, right? Yeah. I think we should address the older kids.
I maybe think if you honestly address the parent and point out some things to that parent, like
they will understand. I think
like man to man.
Yeah.
If it's a woman and you have a woman on your board, I think you let that woman go point out some things to her woman to woman. Because honestly, let's be real, we gonna come off kind of rough.
Bro, the women. Look, I don't know if you checking the Facebook or not. But the women is wolfing more than the men is. True. Way harder.
True.
Fuck that bitch. Yeah, you whole ass nigga. I'll meet you outside. True. I'm pulling up. I'm like, no, it's somebody's wife right here. What the fuck?
But if you
where your husband at? You talk about the women going. The women going.
If you think about it, we get the with the thumbs. That woman, that's what you come and say, oh, man, let me see. And soon that you shouldn't have said that.
Bro, but it'd be too late.
It's too late, but
it'd be too late.
You let that woman go deal with that woman. Yes, you deal with that man. Addressedly. If it's a dad mom situation, you address it as a board.
Hold on, I'd like to give a moment of silence, 5 seconds for just came over me for all the gun violence that's been happening lately in Seattle, all the lives that's been taken, all the young kids that's been snuffed out, and just. Their life's just thrown in the garbage can for nothing. So let's do a moment of silence for those youngsters and people who have lost their lives to gun violence. Okay, we back, man. So basically, now we talking about the kid.
So we got a few more comments. So,
can we address the cheating kid comment first? I got it.
But
the older kid cheating kid comment.
But I promise we got two more comments.
Okay, we go. Let's just do two seconds on that.
Two more comments because we got people that's right up in there.
Red, why the fuck is you looking at me like that,
I
bro?
want to hear. I want to hear what's going on. I want to hear what's going on. I want. Come
Hold on, we
on.
gonna go to a commercial break real quick. I'm gonna figure out why the fuck Red keep looking at me like.
I want to hear.
Hey,
He said he gonna touch on the cheating. I'm still. Don't do it.
Don't do it. I gotta touch on it,
So
man.
we're gonna take a commercial break and we're gonna get back to your comments. I promise. I'm trying to read all the comments, but you want to get into it. I told us that whole was.
Yeah, man, we'll be right back with a commercial break. We're gonna take a real quick commercial, and we'll be right back. He went right into. Hold on.
Boy, you
Hey,
cool.
hand me that platter real
Yeah,
quick so I can go ahead and show.
Boy,
What's
you
up, man?
cool.
We back off the clock, man.
So let's
I mean, hold on 1 second. We gonna hand me that wing platter right there.
Boy, that boy Cold-Blooded came
Yeah,
back
I mean,
like that
the
as
whole
I was dipping in.
Hey man, we got Milo's Wing Shack right here, man.
Shout out for that.
Shout out for Milo's Wing Shack. If you want somebody to come, if you want to cater one of the off the clock events, just make sure you inbox us at offtheclock206@gmail.com. It's all about the flats over here. Make sure if you want to cater one of these events, one of our off the clock podcasts, enter us, give us an email. Shout out, man. Milo's Wing Shack, man. I'm about to give me one of these darling.
So let's
the cheating.
Yeah, so let's get back to the comments. So I'm about to flash some comments for you because Showtime Smith has been in the comments. So
Tell Showtime Smith that's why he can't have no chicken.
This shit firing them all right now.
So here's a question up there you're able to see. So I'm still gonna be water to the ref. So that's how we lost. I remember that hot day. And then for the Facebook user, he says his name is Jarros. Hopefully, I apologize. So that's reading the comments. And that was presented by Chairboy Popcorn. And this segment is presented by Mila's Wing Shack, as you can see right there. Right there. So yeah, let's go back to cheating because I think I hit a nerve because I told
y'all don't do that.
I'm about to do a little bit of this here right here.
So because we also coming closely in the show, but it depends on how long we're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna go for about another 10 minutes.
All right. So like I said, I'm coming from the parent spectator side.
Right.
So about the cheating. Because I think y'all giving the referees a little bit too much of a pass. Because I understand.
No, he's talking about the teams cheat.
That's what he talking
because
about.
He talking about. Hold on, now there's some things in this football here.
Because I was about to add also home cooking. And you know
it's never. I honestly, as much as we want to say home cooking, it's never no home cooking. I got to give it up to the refs out here, man. Like honestly, again, I'm not from here. You got to also so. I give it up to the refs out here, man. They're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to. I'm not about to come out for a bad call and put my hands on the ref.
Right.
I'm a fuss about it, and like I tell most of the refs, man, I'm just fussing to be fussing, just for the fucking fun of it. If I really get in your ass and I really motherfucker, I might really felt like that was a bad call, but I'm not. I'm gonna express myself. But once I express myself, it's done.
And as far as
it's over with.
It's done. As far as the cheating go, man, look, this is what we're gonna do. I feel like this is not the ref's job to look over the books. The ref's job is to ref the game. Right?
Say that again.
It's the organization's job and the team moms to look over the book. But we talking about competition. And when this little cat get into college, he ain't got no choice. If he play a senior, sophomore, junior, he ain't got no choice. Now we talking about safety. If your kid is 13, he might be playing a 14U team, or a 12U team might be playing a 9U team. Okay. I don't see a big difference in that. Let him line up. Okay. But if you got this and he got abs and the mustache and the goatee and tattoos, and he playing 12U, and he ain't moving like 12, he moving like D1, D2 recruit, then there might be a question.
That happened before. Let's.
Man,
I know you want to get up in there, but look, it's the actual problem.
Listen, I'm about to explain to you. You got some kids that don't have the grades per se, might not have the grades to play, because honestly, we all know there's a grade point average that you have to have. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
2.5.
that you have.
I think they raised it to 3.0.
That you have to have to be on the team. So feel me, if there's still opportunity for a kid that's 13 years old, or that is 13 going on 14 years old. That's why they have 14U, 13U. If there's an opportunity for that kid still to play football, if he can't play, let him play with that. Let him play, but let him play with that age that he's supposed to play with.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
If he's 13, don't hinder him and leave him with a 12-year-old. Go ahead and let him play with them 13 years old. But you might have a kid, honestly, just helping. You might have a kid that is honestly turning 13, but still has a playing level of a 12-year-old. And he meets that quota still to play with the 12-year-olds.
Right.
Let that kid play and let him develop before you send him to the Wolves.
Right.
Before you send them to 13U,
right.
They're a little bit faster.
They're a little bit stronger.
They're a little bit stronger.
Their little niggas ain't playing up there.
They balls to drop.
They all different. They got
I feel like, honestly, there is some kids that's turning a certain age that might needs to stay back. Just like we have some kids that's in school that might need to stay back.
Yeah.
It's not because you're dumb. It's not because you're slow. It might be you might just need that one more year to help you develop, and then you're ready.
Then you're good.
But if I send you out there saying, man, you know what, you're 13, just go ahead on ahead. If fuck this little league, you going to high school. That kid is not going to see a light of day on the field.
No. From now that you said
a light of day.
And I'm glad you elaborate on that too, because we're going to bring that up as well as going into a closing topic, and then we're going to close after this. Playing time. Now, you've already said we touched on how the travel ball, I think, basically infested everybody like a virus. Everybody's so hungry to go to Florida. Now, playing time with these kids. Now, there's, we have a lot of select teams out here. Parents do pay their money to play. They pay their money. They work hard for their money.
I'm glad you said this.
What do you feel? I told you, man. Man, I told you.
I'm glad you said that.
Okay, I told you that. So, parents play their hard-earned money, man, and, they go out of town and they sit there and they watch their kids sit on the bench. Now, as me as a coach, and if I got a select team, that means and I'm not, listen, let me be clear. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not speaking about any organization. Shoe fits, wear it. I'm not speaking about any organization. Even rec organizations, parents pay their money, not just travel, even rec. So I'm speaking about the whole aspect of playing time. If you pay your money and this kid sit there on the bench and you done traveled one, or you done came all the way and drove all the way over here all day to see this kid play, and he ain't playing, and he ain't playing, and he ain't playing, but this kid, he might not be at practice, but he get to play. All these other kids get to play. At what point do you feed your dogs? At what point you say, okay, you know what? We up 21-0 in the second quarter. We finna blow these niggas' backs out. Hey, Tools, come on in, man. Y'all eat. Now it's time for y'all to eat. At what point do you say as a coach, Do you look at them kids that you fucking coaching on the sideline and you looking at their face and body posture drop into the fucking ground like this because they ain't suiting up? Because they done been at every fucking practice. They done been everywhere. And they ain't suiting up. They got their best battle coming in. They probably working harder than the kids that started because they want to prove to the coach that, hey, I'm here.
Easy. I answer that for you. Easy. Mix them in.
You got to.
You feel me? Look, you like that. So listen, what I mean by mix them in, you have, okay,
Politics.
Politics
will not allow the mix in.
Let me explain.
Politics, fuck that. Football politics, Red, will not allow the fucking mix in.
Okay, well then,
it's on that coach.
Even better. I got something even better.
It's on that coach.
I got something even better for that. The first thing, as a parent, if I'm a coach, you're a dad, and I come to you and I'm trying to get your son, but I explain to you, I run a select team. You already have you already got the knowledge of this is not a rec team. This is not whatever. This is a select team. This is a travel team. Most kids, as a parent, if you know, listen, if you
made that fucking choice and paid your money,
I was about to say, if he didn't let me finish, I was about to say,
building up to it,
if you didn't paid your money and you know for a fact that this is a select team, you know, as a select coach, them coaches are letting you know.
What the fuck you bring him over there for?
If your kid is not developed enough, it's best to let him go back to what I said. Stay back and play rec ball until he's developed, or do you be that parent that say, nope, fuck that, I'm just gonna go and pay this money. If that's your opinion, if that's what you want to do, you have the assumption and you know my kid is not going to get the playing time, but I'm still going to pay this money. So don't gripe about it.
It's not on you. It's not on
the coaches.
If you losing kids,
it's not.
You done did something wrong for them kids to leave.
Exactly.
Stop fucking crying and fix the shit.
Treat your parents right.
So if you go ahead and check out the comments, I want y'all to go ahead and see it.
Hold on, I gotta fuck that. Now let's say, hold on. I'm gonna check out the comments in a second. But now we on. So now let's say this, okay? It's on the fucking parents to make that fucking decision. It's on the parents to make that decision. It's on the parents to say, okay, he's not playing. He ain't played in 5 games. I'm just gonna keep on letting him go. But at the point, when do we hold all the coaches accountable for not developing and building this kid up? Because I'm honest.
How long you had this kid? How long did you, like, speaking in general, if you had this motherfucking kid from, now I'm getting upset. If you have these kids, let's say we have 20 kids, 25 to be exact, and out of them 25 kids, you only have 11 kids, 11 dogs developed.
You got to play them dogs.
Nope.
You got to filter them dogs.
Let me finish, Mo. That goes into you as a coach, because you're going to give every kid the same attention that you give the one kid. Why? If you have 25 kids, no fucking way in the world that them 25 kids shouldn't be getting the same attention that them 11 is getting. Why? Because you have enough to fucking scrimmage every day. So when you put your tools in, your tools is really underneath your ones, but they're gradually making that way. You feel what I'm saying? It goes back into the coaching. You can't get mad at the next coach because he's doing something better or doing something different. Let me not say better, doing something different than what you're doing. Yeah. And that kid is developing a little bit more.
He sees something else.
You feel what I'm saying?
Basically, you expose yourself.
Man, I didn't have kids.
Like, oh shit, he ain't really coaching.
I didn't have kids go to other teams and talk to me like a man and tell me, hey, coach, look, I'm gonna just go, because I love you. But I think I'm learning a little bit. You have to really understand, you as a coach. Now, since somebody want to say thick skin, a coach has to have skin. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we got comments.
Okay. We're gonna go to the comment section real quick.
It's man, like, come on, man. It's about coach the kids, treat the kids how they want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, I'm gonna end this on saying this. And I'm a firm believer in this. If they vibe with you, if they rock with you, if they vibe with you, they're going to rock with you forever. They ain't going to leave you. But if they don't, Bro, we have kids. If the kid don't like you, they're gonna respect you. But the shit that you're telling them is gonna go through this ear, out the other. But for that coach that the kids are vibing with and rocking with, nigga, everything you saying is gonna stick. They're gonna remember it. They're gonna remember slangs you say. They're gonna remember certain terminologies you use. That's if they rock with you. So don't get mad at the next coach because that kid is vibing and rocking with.
But to go back to what you said earlier in the show, you gotta learn the kid. Because
the comments.
Yeah, okay, let's go to them comments, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the producer, I'm also now the comment man. I'm trying to like go ahead and post these comments up, and I've been having up there for a while. But here's one of the comments right here.
Can you post it on the screen? So
yeah, this should be it's a delay. You see comment already?
No.
I'm only seeing Keandre comment. Is it?
All right, so we got one comment that says, "Put me in, coach." Put me in, coach. Then we got the next one from Chase. He says, "Playing time should be given to everyone that is participating on a team in football.
It should not be counted as 10 plays a piece.
No,
rotate your kids.
Or jobs as coaches is to develop these kids."
Exactly. Who said that?
Chase.
That is Chase.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Shout out to my guy Trace Carpenter, man. That's my dude. Belichick. Bella Crop.
That's my guy.
Bella Crop. That's my guy.
Hey,
Bella
Crop, forget about it.
So,
motherfucking guy, man.
We got another comment too as well. Once again, from my boy, Showtime Smith. Showtime Smith, you need to come on this show. You've been commenting on this thing like crazy. I've seen coaches bribe kids. So, as a coach whose kid was bribed, do you match the offer?
No,
not at all. No.
If you can't,
can I say? Let me just please.
I'm tired of that.
It goes back into. If that kid is rocking with you, vibing with you, you don't have to offer him nothing.
Okay, but then what the fuck are you giving the kid? You giving them circus pizza? You giving them free gloves? You giving them what the fuck are you giving?
Why are you bribing the kid?
Why are you bribing a fucking kid to come play for you?
All right, so this goes back to you, Steve. I think this is a question that they're asking you, and I'm kind of want to ask that question too. So, what is the bribe? You know, in football in college,
easy for little league.
Yeah.
It's playing time. It's playing time. As a coach,
I should have thought about that.
It's playing time. As a coach, you'll go to poaching. Hey, I'll tell you this: if you bring your kid to play for me, your kid is going to be the starter. But most coaches ain't poaching. Most coaches is not doing that.
They're not fucking poaching.
They're not poaching.
Can I fucking say something? They're not fucking poaching. They're not poaching. Let me say what they're doing. Hold on. This is what they're doing.
And that's speaking for all coaches.
That's we're not poaching. If you got a reputation out here in the football community as one being a good coach, good dude, stand-up guy, boom. They've coached their kid. They've seen you on the field. You know how many kids I've brought to teams because they seen me coach in flag and wanted to come take their kid to tackle. So it's a representation of the coach. Okay? It's a fucking representation of the coach. If I can pick up the phone and I can call this now. We've been probably coaching.
That's so touchy.
Me and myself. Yeah, no, hold on. Me and myself. I've been coaching for 9 years. So I know a lot of parents. If I could pick up the phone and say, "Hey, bring a kid over here and come play for me," no matter what the name is, I can't help it that I know this person's parent. I can't help it. I'm good with them. But if I can pick up the phone, I'll call him and say, "Come bring." And I'm not offering you nothing but good football, and your kid will develop and learn. I ain't offering you no playing time if he gonna earn his spot. Every parent will tell you if I called him and said, "Come play for me," your kid gonna have to earn his spot is what I've told them. If they choose to come bring their kid, that's not only for our reputation as coaches.
It goes back into this
or the organization's reputation.
This is for the kids, man.
It's for the kids.
I have a son that's playing. If I started my team. When I started my team, if my son would have came to me and told me, say, "Dad, look, I want to go back to where I was playing at," hands down, I'd have let my son go back to where he was at. Why? Because it's not for me. I'm not playing. That my son is playing. This kid is playing. And most parents, like Mom said, his sons are playing for air. It was their decision. They came to their dad and said, "Yo, Pops, look, check this. I just want to go over here. Yo, all my homeboys." And that's what most people don't understand. It's not the coach. It's the kids. The kids is the ones that recruit. The kids is the ones that's telling their homeboy.
They on Snapchat all day.
Come over here and play with us. Man, my coach is this. Man, my coach cool as a mud, man. My coach What in my schedule?
And then
my coach is country.
Hold on.
Man, woo.
Now that we sitting here live on this podcast, and I said I was always going to keep it raw and uncut, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get into this one last thing, and then we're going to go to some closing or some more comments. And
you got another comment,
okay.
but before you
I gotta get ready to get up.
You got to get ready to get up out here.
Showtime Smith also said about the bribery is cell phones and battle gear.
God damn, battle gear.
Oh,
doom.
You know what you should have played?
Stop him.
You should have played the intro song. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
that dude, Paul. But to speak on that, Paul is 100% right. And somebody told me something like this, and it stuck with me. You can't coach talent.
No.
And as a coach, you can't coach talent. When you have talent, you are molding. That's it. You can't coach that. You are molding. You're molding the talent.
Yeah.
So the speaker, Coach Paul, Showtime, hands down, that's my dude. Another coach that's stand-up dude. And it's about the kid.
Stand-up dude.
So what his comment is, the comment onto his question is, he's 100% right. That is considered poaching.
Yeah.
And for him to even bring that poaching up, you dude, no,
hey, raw to cut. Hey, we ain't saying no, but look, just to bring it back real quick, as he said, it's about the kids, and everybody know, me and this dude done had our problems, and yes, my sons are back at here, right? And a lot of people, they might do a lot of this.
It's bigger than football.
But for me, as a dad, I want to nurture my son's dreams. Me as pride as a man, you think that I wanted to say, hey man, go suit up. But I said this, do I get that resentment from my sons later when they say, because hell, I got resentment from my motherfucking mom from not letting me participate in the motherfucking talent show back in the day. And I'm still holding that at 40 motherfucking too. Like, you didn't let me I remember that. But so do I, but I love my mama, shout out, blah. But do I let that resentment and let him look at me different? Because now they look at me different. And hopefully that shows the football community that this is bigger than the fucking kid. This is bigger than us, man. The bottom line of this show is we all need to fucking come together, man. As one. If you go on the Washington Youth Football Coaches page, we spread out. We against each other. And I understand good banter. Yeah, good banter is cool. But when we go to the point of disrespect and then we go out of town and we look like clowns, because y'all see the national page too, and we look like clowns. Me as an ex-coach, I don't like looking like a clown, or I don't like looking at my state that I represent looking like a goddamn clown. But how do we get together and say, okay, you got dog, when do the heads of the people who control the talent or supposedly control the talent sit down at the round table and say, okay, fuck that, this is what we're going to do. You, and you. We're going to come together and we're going to do a real team Washington. We're going to do a real team Washington with all the dogs together in one kennel. Not you over here, we this. Because at the end of the day, that puts a rift between the kids as well. Now the kids used to be friends, but because you over here and you see the adults banging, because you can always tell when a parent is talking about you as a coach. If this kid used to rock with you real tough, what's up, coach, to you? And always you shake your hand, come chop it with you. And then all of a sudden, it's the cold shoulder. He ain't saying nothing to you no more. He ain't chopping it. It's something that he's hearing that's going around the house. It's something negativity talk that he's hearing the parents talk that's making him react to the coach like that. Same thing with the kids. When they see the adults bantering between this and that creates a rift between friends that's been friends since they were 6 years old.
Let me ask a question, and it's a question to all the parents. It's a question to everybody. What if your kid come to you and tell you that your kid's playing for a team right now, and your kid come to you and tell you that they don't want to play for that team no more? What will be your reaction? Don't nobody say nothing. Just let that shit sink in. If your kid come to you right now, as much as you as a parent like the organization that your kid is playing for, what if your kid come to you and say, I don't want to play for this organization? Or how many parents really honestly sat down and had that conversation with their kid on, who do you want to play for? How about, do you even want to be here? Because when my kids come to my field, the first thing I want to know as a coach, because that determines what I'm going to get out you. I ask one question.
who wants to be here because they want to play football and they love football? Some raise their hands. The majority of them do. Who want to be here because their parents made them come play? Another piece of them raise their hand. If you are making your kid do something that he doesn't want to do,
stop.
And because he's not going to be the best at it.
Stop.
He's not going to be the best at it because he don't want to do it for real.
That coach is not going to get 100% out of that kid. Why that coach is not going to get 100% out of that kid? Because that kid is being told to do something that honestly he might have wanted to go play for you. Because your team might have a few of his friends on that team. Your team might be that safe haven. You might be that coach that he look up to and feel that he want to rock with. But we teach our kids how to be respectable, how to have respect. The first thing we tell our kids, you get out of line with a grown-up, I'm batching your mouth. So that kid is going to respect that coach. He might not like that coach, but he's going to respect that coach because we taught our kids to be respectable. So sit down, have that conversation with the kid and find out who they want to play for. Give them options. Give them point out so many teams and say, well, coach such and such is coaching, so such and such is coaching. And watch that kid might say, who?
You're right. Any more comments we got coming in?
Yes, we got comments. Hopefully you can be able to see them on screen. We got this one right here. I can't pronounce the name, but sorry for not.
That's Coach Ty. What's up? Shout out Coach Ty.
So basically,
that's my guy, Oakland Panthers, Coach Ty, man.
His comment was some parents have a misconception that their kids can play a select team level as long as they can pay their money, but their kids' skill may be better suited for rec level at that time.
It's about
shout out to Crappie.
It's about the actual coach in the organization and the coaches being truthful. Because let me say this: there's a reason why people ain't saying no and not turning these kids down and not really being truthful.
Is that my guy Ty?
Yeah, that's from the Auburn Panthers.
Oh man,
yeah, that's good. My guy. Good coach.
Well,
stand up, dude. Stand up, dude.
Most definitely good. Another good coach. Shout out.
So quick, your boy Chase, he just said shout out to all the coaches and everyone at ECW. I'm thinking about the wrestling organization, but ECW for coaching my kid up and having him play 7-on with their program.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
And then from Jaros, if the kid is made to do it, his heart isn't in it. He won't play to his full ability.
No, he won't.
And I want to, like I said, I want to come from the parents. So I want to go back to the kid that even though their parents forced them to do it, but what happened if they forced them to do it for a good reason? Let me explain. They could, have trouble in school. They don't do much around the house, hanging around gangs, just hanging around with the wrong crowd, or they in that environment where, I see something in you. You're going to get your ass out there and you're going to play some ball. So what do you say for kids that are in those type of
I say, what if it's not ball? And I say, go back to coach when he said, you got to know your kid, even as a parent.
Got to know your kid.
Even as a parent. You got to find out what your kid do. Because my wife used to get on me and say, how come you ain't throwing the ball and you play football and you keep telling me about football? How come you ain't never throw the ball with your sons? And I said, when they come to me and tell me what they want to do, then that's when I'm going to invest in what they want to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, coach.
You just basically piggyback off that. You just have to know your kids. Somebody basically a parent that basically just told me, you have to know your kids. You can't just assume that certain kids know how to do certain things. And just real quick, because Chase made that comment, that question. I think it's a question or a comment. He says,
this one they just put up.
It's crazy that leagues cannot do crossover games, so kids can get games, but they can't come together for a state championship.
Yeah, and that brings us
so real spill. That goes back to what I said, to speak on what Crappie just said. That goes back to what I was saying. If we as a head can come down, me, you, and my guy sitting here chilling, sitting down talking. If this camera, none of this shit wasn't here, we honestly be having the same conversation
at the parking lot.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
We had the same conversation. My guy that's here with me now, his son plays for me. His son plays for me. He coaches me. He brought his son for a reason. He came, checked it out, liked it, and came back and brought his son.
And I think also it brings back to the fact too that if you had the parents up in here for him, for example, it's the same conversation.
I'm a parent. My son's play. So
right.
So I want, like I said, I'm talking from the parents' point of view. So I want parents who are actually watching this show, who's going to watch it later. This is for you too. So you can understand it from the coach's perspective too, as well, rather than if you hear it from the kids or you hear it from whoever. If it's not coming from the coaches, then I'm already going to tell you that for me, that's wrong. You know, if it's not coming from the horse's mouth, then it's coming from the horse's ass. That's how we say it.
And we're gonna close with this with Chase's last comment, and that was actually what we were gonna close with, far as the state.
Did you read that though?
Man,
did you read that?
I can't see it.
State champ. Look for a state championship.
Forget about it, crappie, man.
First is it egos. Second is it teams in different leagues that have different goals. Three. There's just done. And what it man move on.
Okay. No, I'm not moving on. This is around the cut. First, what it is I want everybody just to say in the leagues, just to say, hey, look, we not merging. We not doing the state championship. We not doing none of that shit because it's not financially beneficial for us to do at this point. Maybe you should say that.
Close, you know what you should do that makes sense? You should have, and I think you might like this. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 head coach, four top people. Fuck the coaches.
That
4 top people from an organization to see if they'll sit down with you and talk to you.
Hold on, let me tell you this. That's already in the works.
That's a good idea.
But see, who gonna come to the round table and really air it out? Who gonna come here and air it out? So, like I said before, we're gonna close with this. And this is our goal. This is my goal with this, with even having my guy on here and having all the rest of the coaches, league owners on here, is to us to come to a head to where we can say, all right, let's put these. Everybody, I'm on the coaches page. I'm on the Washington coaches group. I'm seeing games. Let's line it up. Everybody canceling all this. If we merge and we don't have this league over here, this league over here, this league over here, and we merge and do a state league. How many? Let's get Reggie Jones. Let's get Curtis. I'm gonna call him out because I have no problem.
That's big names. That's big.
I have no problem with these people.
Good coaches.
Good coaches. Hey, I'm not. Look, I buried my hatchet. I'm grown. I'm, in strength, you mature, you become a gentleman.
Basically, the names that you call, the 2 names that you
I
call.
got more.
Listen, those 2 names.
You got Tracy Ford.
They can honestly make.
You got Ed Prince.
They can make it happen.
You got Kyle. Them 5 right there.
They can make it happen.
If y'all 5, Ed Prince, Northwest Premier, and Charles, Reggie Jones, Curtis, Tracy Ford, and what was the last one, bro? We said. Is that about somebody there?
That's it.
And Kyle. Them 5.
Kyle.
If y'all
hands down.
Come together, sit at the round table. Why don't we have a state league? This is what the coaches is asking for.
It's not one coach. It's not 2
it's
coaches.
All the coaches.
It's all the coaches are asking for. All the coaches want to play each other. It's everybody. Everybody want to see a state championship. Why are there state championships in every other state? You go to Texas. How is there?
Taifa. How is Taifa for putting it down?
And you know what Taifa is? Taifa is just so many teams that
split. But they're branching regions. They're branching regions.
You got to win your region.
Though,
you got to win your region. Then you go over to whatever the next games or whatever.
Let's do this, coach. Do me a favor. We're gonna close with this. Do me a favor. Google youth football and cheer, Washington State, and see how many leagues and how many teams you come up with. There's no way in shit that nobody should have a full schedule. There's no way that we should be playing crossover games. There's no way that we should be, there's no way, excuse me, time for me to pray. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Everybody take this. Time for me to pray. But there's no way that we should be having crossover games. We should be traveling to Issaquah. We should be traveling to Yakima. We shouldn't need to worry about Miami right now. We need that statewide thing. So these is my closing thing, my closing arguments, and I'll let Coach do his, and we done. Man, I'm sorry about the 45 minutes. It went a little bit over. But
yeah, blame that on me. As producer, I take the blame for that.
So,
but one last comment. Showtime Smith says I'm on my way up.
Give me
there.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this
So
up.
we're gonna wrap this one up, man. Basically, the closing arguments is this right here, man. This show is a round table. As you see, this is not for kids. We have beer here. This is for us to sit down and chop it as men and create a forum that's not drama, that's not packed with drama, and we ain't trying to expose no drama, and we ain't trying to call this dude out, and we ain't trying to do this. What we trying to do is maybe air our laundry out a little bit and then come to a solution how we fix these problems, how we sit here and we go better for the state. Because are you guys tired of looking like clowns? But we all beating our chest, man. But when we leave up out of here, them saying beating them chest King Kongs, there ain't nobody saying nothing. Because niggas done got smacked 60 to and all this shit. That shit gotta come to a close. And then but the thing is, them same kids that you coached or you know that's on that team, you laughing and you say, they got this, they got that. It's not the kids that got hurt. I mean, it's not the coaches that experienced that because they was just playing the calls. It was the kids on that field that experienced that. And my last thing to say is 100 yards is 100 yards, north, east, south, or west. But it depends on who steps on the grass, who makes the difference. Be gone off the clock, bro.
Most definitely.